Hey everyone, I'm Mukesh from codewithmukesh.com, and in this video I'll be walking you through Blazor Hero, right from what it is and how you can set it up on your machine and start generating complete Blazor applications. So without any further ado, let's get started. Blazor Hero is one of the newest open source project that was built with an idea to integrate a really clean looking UI with a well structured backend. So for the UI, we are using Blazor component library from Blazor, which is quite a popular option for Blazor nowadays. It gives a nice material design feel to the entire application. So a huge shout out to them as well. For the backend, we are following a hexagonal architecture, also known as onion architecture. If you have not read my article on onion architecture for ASP.NET Core, feel free to find the link in the description section of the video. Now, whenever you decide to use Blazor in a new project, there is going to be a lot of time investment needed in many aspects. So that is going to be right from choosing the coolest looking UI to building a scalable backend. And trust me, it is going to be a lot of research work. So to address to this very issue, I have come up with Blazor Hero, which is a complete application which comes with tons of features right out of the box. That includes SignalR chat with identity, Hangfire, Blazor, clean architecture, and so much more. So the bottom line is that this project could potentially save you around 30 to 40 hours of research and development time. And this is how it works. So developers could either clone the Blazor Hero repository or install the NuGet package via the CLI and start generating their own complete Blazor applications. And all this will be happening with just one line of CLI command. So this part I'll be showing later in the video, but for now, let me show you the project structure of the Blazor application. Here is how the Blazor Hero project is structured. Now this is a very modular and scalable form of architecture with the domain and application logic right at the center of the design. So based on onion architecture, you would have to put your entities right at the center of the application, which is the domain layer here. So you can note that there is no external dependency for this project. I have added in a few boilerplate codes to demonstrate the implementation. So you get product, brand, and document management out of the box with Blazor Hero for your reference. So now in the application layer, which references the domain layer, it consists of various interfaces that has to be implemented outside the core section. So this is what is known as inversion of dependency. Now the application no longer has to depend on any external projects or libraries, and the implementations can easily be switched if necessary. So let me give a quick example for this. Do you see the email service here? So now there is a contract send async, which obviously sends emails. So the implementation that I have done here is via the SMTP. So let's say tomorrow we have a new service provider, let's say SendGrid. So it is easily possible to add in a SendGrid email service within the infrastructure layer that resides outside the core layer. And there will not be any fatal issues to the application. So this is a part of the clean architecture design that we have implemented here. Next, in the infrastructure project, we get to see all our services and repository implementations. This is where the entity framework core contexts live as well. If there are any cross-cutting concerns, it would be placed in the shared infrastructure project. So for now, only the email and datetime services are the implementation available in this project. I have also added in another shared project for some commonly shared DTOs and certain constants. However, this is completely optional. Finally, the last and the most interesting layer, the web. So this is where you get to see the Blazor server and the client project. It's important to note that the client does not access the data directly from the infrastructure layer, but the server exposes API endpoints, which is then consumed by the client project using HTTP client. The client project consists of all the Razor components and pages styled by Blazor. The shared client project has the managers that actually consume the secure web API via the HTTP client. We're using JWT authentication to secure the project. Now, the server project contains the API controller, which then passes the request via mediator library in CQRS pattern to the application layer. Now from the application layer, it uses a repository and the specification pattern to consume the data from the database. So this is the entire setup of onion architecture. So to know more about this architecture, I would again recommend you to go through my onion architecture article, which goes in depth to the complete architecture implementation from scratch. Note that you can find all the important links that I'm mentioning in this video down in the description section. Now, Let's get started with setting up Blazor Hero into our CLIs so we are able to generate complete Blazor projects via the CLI. You need to make sure that you are using the latest version of Visual Studio 2019 IDE, which is version 16.8 or higher, along with the latest .NET 5 SDK. You should also have the latest .NET EF CLI tools installed. You can use this command to install the latest versions, and it would probably help if you have an idea about these two articles as well. So once that is done, let's open up command prompt and run in the following command. This installs the entire solution template globally onto your machine. You can see that we have currently installed Blazor Hero.clean architecture. Now as the next step, let me change my working directory to create a new Blazor application. So I'll be running this particular command to change the directory. And after that, to create a new Blazor application with the Blazor Hero template, let's copy paste this particular command and run this as well. Note that this will be the name to my entire Blazor application. So it says that the template has been created successfully. Let me check my directory. So here you can see that the entire application is generated with the Blazor Hero template. So now let me open up the solution. As expected, the project Warehouse Manager has been created successfully with the Blazor Hero template. You can see that we have already maintained the solution structures as well as the naming conventions. So the first thing you got to do is set your server project as the starter project. So once that is done, I would recommend you to switch to the Kestrel server. With that out of the way, let's open up Package Manager console and set your default project as the warehouse manager.infrastructure. As you know that this is where the application DB contexts live, we'll need to apply the migrations as well as update the database here. So let me run the basic update command. So there you go, your database is now ready. So let's check if our database has been created properly. So for this, let me open up the SQL Server Object Manager and browse to the location where my database is being created. So you can see that this is where our tables have been created. So one more important point to mention is about the app settings of the server project. Now by default, Blazor Hero comes with the local DB instance of Microsoft SQL Server. To switch the connection string, you can simply open up the app settings or the app development settings and change in the connection string as you require. So once that is done, let's execute our application. I'd prefer to use the start without debugging. So this would open up the terminal window which says that it has been seeding the administrator, the basic roles, and so how it works is as soon as the application starts for the first time, there are few sample data that is being seeded into a database, which includes the roles, different roles. For now, I have been seeding administrator and a basic role, as well as an user with administrator role and a user with basic role. Here is the login page of Blazor Hero. I have included few buttons to fill in the administrator and user credentials. But for now, we'll start with registering a new user. So once the user is registered, the application sends an email to the registered email address. In Blazor Hero, we are currently using Ethereal Mailbox for development. You could easily switch to any SMTP service. So let me log in to my Ethereal Mailbox to check the confirmation email. Once I receive the confirmation email, I could easily confirm the user by clicking on the link. Once the user is confirmed, I could go back to the login page and log in with the credentials. And there you go, we have successfully signed into Blazor Hero. Dark mode and localization comes out of the box with Blazor. So this is how you activate dark mode, and the localization works like this. So now there are quite a lot of languages available in our localization, but feel free to add in your own languages in the repository. In the account page, you'll be able to modify your profile details. So this includes your first name, last name, the phone number, and you could also change your password as well. Profile pictures are also allowed in Blazor Hero. So this will be reflected throughout the application. Swagger is also included in Blazor Hero for development purposes. So you could see all the APIs that are being exposed by the server project. So just as a demonstration, you could probably open up the token endpoint and paste in your credentials. So I have copy pasted my credentials here. And once you execute, you'll be receiving the token. This is the JW token that is generated by the server. Now this token you could use in the authorize header by typing in bearer space the token. Now this will allow you to fetch the data from secured endpoints like products. So currently we just have one product that is available in our database. So as mentioned earlier in this video, we have a complete management of products, brands and documents. So let's get started with the CRUD management in Blazor Hero. I'll get started by creating a new brand. So from here you get an option to edit or delete the current entry. Now let's create a new product as well. So similarly, you get an option to both edit and delete the product entries. SignalR integration is one of the prime features of Blazor Hero. The brands and product CRUD operations are linked to the SignalR hub, which means that any addition or modification in the count of the brands or products would directly reflect into the dashboard in real time. So now for the demonstration, I have opened up two instances of Blazor Hero in two different browsers. So let me start by adding a new brand. So you can see that at real time, SignalR is able to send a notification that a new brand has been added. This is applicable while you delete a particular brand as well. Now let's look into the user and role management system of Blazor Hero. Under the users page, the administrator will be able to register new users directly into the system. So from here, we'll also be able to view the profiles of different users, as well as the administrator could probably activate or deactivate a particular user's profile. Similarly, in the roles, the admins can add new roles as well as manage the permissions. So these are the default permissions that comes along with Blazor Hero. Document management is a newly added feature of Blazor Hero version 2.0. As expected, it allows you to store in documents within the file system. So now from here you get to choose if your particular document is available to the public or is it private to you. So let's add a particular document. The document can be of any type, a JPEG or a document file or anything else. So once this is uploaded, it is available for you to edit, delete or download. So this is how the document management system of Blazor Hero works. Now this particular document can also be available to the public if it is selected so. If not, it will be available only to the owner. Audit trail tracking is yet another important feature of Blazor Hero. So from here, the currently logged in user can easily see his activity within the entities. So for example, do you remember creating a new document? So that is what is being mentioned here. So when you click on the show details, you get to see the inner details of what are the type of data that is being manipulated. So for example, this type is a create. So the particular user is creating a new file with the following parameters. So this can be quite handy when tracking user activities. Also, within the Audit Trails, we have an export to Excel function that fetches the data from the Audit Trails table corresponding to the current logged in user and exports it to an Excel sheet. So, saving the best for the last, the chat application is by far my most favorite feature of Blazor Hero. So this particular implementation is integrated with SignalR and Microsoft Identity. This helps us to have an one-on-one conversation with the different registered users of the application. So for this demonstration, I have opened up two browsers with two different users. So let me open the chat application. So from here you can see that there are two available users for chat. So let me select John Doe, which is the second registered user here, and send him a message. You can see that there is a nice notification and a notification tone played. So let's open up directly the chat. So from here, John Doe is able to reply to the first user. And the notification comes back into the first user. So this is how the entire chat application works. So there are quite a lot of possibilities with the chat applications, like sending voice messages or attachments. I believe it will probably come up in the future versions of Blazor Hero. So these are the important features of Blazor Hero. For more documentation and details, you could always refer to the Blazor Hero Quick Start Guide, for which the link will be provided in the description as well. So if you like this project, do not forget to leave behind a star in the GitHub repository. So we have crossed nearly 600, so I'm hoping to get around 1,000 within a month or two. So that's a wrap for this video. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I would appreciate if you could leave behind your feedback in the comment section of this video. So do subscribe and have a great day.